Hello everyone, it's me Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm so excited to be streaming from home today and working this awesome hybrid model because that means I get to bring y'all a group exercise class. Yay! So today's workout is going to be our 30-minute core and stretch. We're going to do similar to the format that we had last week if you checked out that class. So our first round is going to be 4 moves. It's going to take a total of 2 minutes to get through all of the moves, and then you'll have a 30-second break. We'll do that 3 times. The second round is going to include a couple of plank-like movements, just because planks are one of the best isoprone ab exercises. There will be modifications, of course, for anyone who doesn't feel great about staying in a plank. You can always bring those knees down to the floor. You don't need any weights today. You just need some space for yourself. Make sure you have some water. If you can turn on some music to enjoy and power yourself through these 30 seconds per move that you're gonna do, go for it. We'll start on the floor. In 3 minutes from right now, we'll start with just some shoulder opening stretch movements, and then we'll work into those abs. Okay, I'm gonna bribe the bird. Hello. Hello. Why are you so angry? Did you miss me yesterday when I was at the office? Does that mean no? Birdie's body. Love the birdie. Any more? You gonna help me put it in the bowl for you though? No, that one doesn't work very good. All right, last peanut. Don't lose it. So this is a great class if you happen to have a little bit more than 30 minutes to work out. I would absolutely recommend taking either some time before class to go for a walk to start to get your heart rate up so that you can be a little bit warm and maybe a little bit more ready to get down on the floor and do some ab work as opposed to the quick little warm up that we're gonna do. Hopefully the first move will also help you warm up. Or consider sticking around. After this class at noon, we have Zumba with Sarita. It's a 40-minute class to just really dance it on out, to use those abs and the core in general that you just worked. So hopefully you'll be a little bit more stretched out and feel good. All right, we've got 1 minute till we get started. I am drinking some coffee. My sun coffee. I'm gonna be drinking a lot of coffee. Oh my gosh, it's that time. It's that time. All right, so let's go ahead and get down on our mats. Just making sure everything's recording properly up here. Do I have the workout? I do. Got the workout, I got the timer. So just come down to the floor in any seated position that feels good for you. I love perfect pose, a version of Sukhasana, but maybe you wanna stretch your legs out or just one leg out. Find what feels good. Start off by just getting a couple stretches or movements that make you feel good on the floor. Start to change your breath. Change your mindset coming away from your desk and your work day. Even if you're just here for 5 minutes, if you can't stay for all 30 minutes, asking yourself what you can do today. Just a couple more breaths here, finding any sort of movement or motion or maybe even stillness that makes you feel good. And then we're gonna hang out just for a little bit longer in whatever sort of seated position that you went for. Take a moment to really notice what's happening with your upper body in your seated position, especially if you're sitting with your legs crossed as I am. Are you hinging forward a lot? Are you rounding through those shoulders and in that lower back? Do your best from whatever position you're in, either in dragonfly with legs open or kneeling, to find some length through the crown of your head. And notice if when you found that length, you splayed out your rib cage and really arched your back, and knit those ribs in towards each other. Give them a little hug towards each other like you're holding on to a quarter, and draw that lower belly button back towards your spine. As much as you can, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Allow your elbows to hang heavy from the floor, and take a nice neutral chin towards your chest. Taking that draw in of your lower belly is what's going to help you to keep that back feeling good. Feel free to apply a little bit of pressure of your hands palms onto your knees or your thighs to help you get this lift. All right, from here we're just going to warm those shoulders up. So give yourself a couple rolls of your shoulders, first in one direction. Ooh, there's a lot of crunching and cracking here, and then in the opposite direction. Awesome. Let's do one shoulder at a time. Let's make it a little bit bigger, going for 5 circles in one direction. So while you're doing these circles, try to resist the urge to open all the way towards the back of the room, or to bring any extra arching towards your back. Go in the opposite direction. So still lifting through the crown of your head and allowing yourself some grace too. Totally normal if you can't stay super still here, or if you notice that your back is tired. If you need to stop for a second, shake it out. Let's get 5 circles on that opposite side. Think about moving slowly to be in control. So frequently with ab work, people try to rush through it and stuff too. So as we actually get into the moves for today, I really want you to think about taking the time to make sure that your lower back is in contact with the floor. Shake it out. Let's just open and close our arms. So making sure that lower back is pressed down towards the floor, and sometimes bringing your knees a little closer towards your chest. It's going to make it easier on your abs. It's going to take that arching out of your lower back and allow you to really focus on connecting with your core. Let's take some lateral movements because we got some side movements coming up. So inhale your arms all the way up overhead. Go ahead, bring your right hand down to the floor and reach with that left arm over to the right side. You can keep that hand straight. You can bend at the elbow to get as deep of a reach as feels good for you. Inhale back up the center, and then exhale over to the other side. If you want to spend a little bit longer really reaching through those fingers, bringing the stretch down from the armpit all the way through the hip, you are welcome to. We've got just about 1 minute left right here. And then we're going to lay ourselves down on the floor. I'm going to show you what I mean by move number 1, being an old school ab rocker. Oh my gosh, Alex is a lot younger than me, y'all, and like the old school ab rocker was 100% like a thing of was that the 90s? Yes, that my parents bought into and was one of the quote unquote machines that we had downstairs in our basement, along with the Nordic Track skier and then the Health Rider. Oh man, that thing was a piece of junk. All right, so let's go ahead and lay down on our backs. We got our first 6 minutes of work, and then we're gonna come back into our stretches. Let me show you what the first 4 moves are. All right, so laying down on your back, take a moment to take a little tilt of that pelvis to make sure that your lower back is down on the floor, that you're not arching through this back. So I like to think that if you're tenting a steak, you got the steak in your belly button, tap, 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 and that belly is drawn in as you tapped it down towards the mat. You're gonna bring your knees in slightly towards your chest, and it's up to you how much you need to bring your knees in towards your chest so that you don't feel that lower back arch off of the floor. The closer your knees are to the chest, the easier the move is going to be. The more you start to draw your knees away from the chest, the more likely you are to have your back start arching off the floor. So find the spot that feels good for you, and then you can either reach your hands up towards the ceiling Because in an old school ab rocker, you had this weird, awkward thing to hold onto with your hands. So maybe you bring your arms by your side. Maybe you challenge your upper body, those upper abs a little bit more by reaching your arms up overhead. Maybe you have your knuckles by your ears, but try to resist the urge of interlacing your hands and pulling on your chin to bring your chin in towards your chest. So that old school ab rocker is move number 1. Move number 2, we're going to come back into this tabletop position, and I'm going to challenge you to lift your shoulders up off of the floor and keep them there. So we're not just lifting our head up off of the floor, we're making sure that shoulders are included in the lift so that your neck is going to continue to feel good. You have 2 options for the next move. The easier option is to do a toe tap, both legs down. And if you need to, you can always keep your head down on the floor and even bring your thumbs close towards your bum to help you control yourself in your toe taps and both legs down. If you're looking to work a little bit harder, you're keeping your shoulders off the mat, you're going to, from up, tabletop or boat pose, extend one leg, extend the opposite leg, extend both legs at the same time. Bringing those heels as close to the floor as works for your body without your lower back lifting. So if you're feeling tired, maybe you sat in an awkward desk chair yesterday and your back's like, what? Maybe instead of kicking your heels out towards the floor, you kick those legs a little bit more towards the ceiling. Cool. Move number 3 is the same as move number 4. We're going to be here on our sides. We're going to be in a modified side plank. But there's still plenty of work to come. All right, so reaching that arm either up overhead or in front of you. We're going to press up into our plank, draw our elbow to our knee, reach back forward, lower down. So lift, crunch, in, down. If that's too much for you, you can just lay down here on the side with your arm on the floor to help support you in a side body crunch. 30 seconds on one side and then we'll switch to the other. I hope you enjoyed relaxing a little bit on the floor as I talked you through what those moves will be. Let's go ahead and get started with our old school ab rocker. Remember, there's no breaks until we've gotten through all 3 moves, the third move on both sides. So draw those knees towards your chest, decide how you're going to rock those abs, legs stay right where they are, and the upper body lifts and lowers. In 3, 2, 1, belly in, begin. So you have that belly button knit towards your back, staked down towards the floor. Your choice what's happening with this upper body. But if you have your arms extended overhead, work to keep those biceps by your ears instead of using your arms to throw yourself up and then lift yourself up. Work to bring everything up at the same time. Remember, okay, cool. Next up we have the single double. So either coming into those toe taps right here, keeping it easy on yourself. Remember, you can always place your thumbs below your bum if you need to. If you're working a little bit harder, lifting the shoulders off the mat, doing that same toe tap, and then the next level is to go for an extension, opposite leg, both legs at the same time. Remember, the next move after this is the side plank, so roll yourself over, come right into it on that forearm, crunch in, lower and lift. Crunch in, lower and lift. You can move as slow as you need to go. So if you're going at a slightly faster or slower pace than me, that's totally okay. Make sure that this stabilizing arm, switch to the opposite side, is pretty much underneath of your shoulder. So either maybe you're just lifting and lowering, working on that side hip action. If you can add this little crunch in, go for it. Oh my gosh. We get a 30-second break after this, 30 seconds of rest, and then we'll go through these 4 moves two more times after this. Take a break, 30 seconds to yourself. Looking for some variety. I'll face in the opposite direction this time. Feel free to shake it out, take some stretches. Give some love to that lower back, maybe a little bit of cat-cow. We got just about 5 seconds, so lower yourself down. Get ready for this second round of ab rockers and begin. So remember, your legs stay right where they are. Maybe you're reaching with those fingers towards the bottom of your mat. Just making sure that lower back, that sacrum area, is staying glued towards the mat. So you're not rolling your knees so far in that your lower back lifts. We're making sure that that lower back stays glued to the floor. From here, we're either going into those toe taps or boat pose extension. Remember, if you're lifting your head up off of the mat, your shoulders have also lifted up off of the mat. And if you have your hands by your head, they're just hanging out there. Oh my gosh, the bird's trying to eat my feet. So you're not applying any pressure to the back of your head. Come on, roll over for our first side plank, or if you need to modify for yourself, you're just going for this side body crunch. Not saying it's an easy move, using that exhale, working to really decrease that space between your lower rib and hip. And if you're ready for a little bit more, you're right up here in a side plank, lifting and lowering, adding in that elbow to knee crunch. Other side. Remember, with challenge comes change. So check in on both moves. See which one is harder for you. Maybe you'll be surprised by what you can do, and maybe you'll be surprised by what you find challenging today. Remember, every day is different, mentally and physically, so just do the best that you can with the body you have today. With challenge comes change, and over time you'll see those results if you stay consistent. Take your break. One more time through. One more time through. Ooh. I'm hanging out in butterfly for a second, hinging forward, getting some nice stretches into the outer thighs and glutes. All right, lower yourself down on your back. Last time through in 3, 2, 1. Back is glued to the mat. You're doing whatever feels right with your arms. You're working to lift those shoulders off the chest. Think about keeping that chin as neutral as possible. Of course, if you had a weight in your hands, like one dumbbell, you can make this move a little bit more challenging. Awesome. Come on into either of those leg extensions, one, and then double, or if you need to, toe taps. If you can lift that shoulders off of the mat and keep that lower back down, you're gonna feel those abs fire up even more. You're a little bit warmer here in round 3, so maybe you can get those heels a little closer to the floor as well. And remember how before we talked about bringing those knees to the chest to make it easier? Maybe take a break, come into the side plank. Maybe next time if you try this again, you don't bring those knees as close towards the chest. Find that hip dip and then crunch. Still working to decrease that space between your lower rib and your hip with this crunch. 3, 2, 1, other side. Come right into it. This is our last one, last move of round 1. You got it. Keep it up. Less than 10 seconds to go. You made it. Awesome. Roll over onto your front. Open those knees. Send your hips back towards your heels. Bring your head down below heart level. Take a couple breaths here in child's pose. Walk your hands as far forward as feels good for you. You can always tense your fingers to feel a little more stretch in your shoulders. If your shoulders are feeling tired, bend at your elbows. Allow those shoulders to separate and relax a little bit more. Stay here for just a couple breaths, then we'll get a nice stretch on those abs and into that lower back. Coming up next is going to be Sphinx or Seal. Awesome. Walk your hands forward. Stay low to the mat as you draw yourself all the way forward. Release your belly to the floor. Press into your hands, palms with your pubic mound still down, belly button close towards the mat. Lift your chest up. You can always walk your hands out further or farther apart to help you to really keep that lower belly down on the floor without putting too much stress into the upper body back. Take 2 more breaths here. Lift through the chest on your next inhale. And on your exhale, release yourself all the way down towards the mat. Make a little pillow with your hands. Bend your knees. Windshield wipe your feet. Right and left, right and left. Let's get one more big stretch into the shoulders because we're going to work those shoulders a lot in the next set. So come on up into tabletop. Keep your left hand down on the floor. Inhale your right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Before we thread the needle, find some length through the crown of your head. Draw your belly in, and on your exhale, weave your right hand underneath the left side of the body. Release your shoulder and your temple to the floor. You can shift your weight a little to the left. Go ahead, walk the right. Walk your left hand forward and then work to bring your chin forward. If you can, and see how that just increases the stretch through the right shoulder. Just 2 more breaths right here. On that next inhale, start to walk your left hand back in. Press your hand palm to the floor. Inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right hand down in tabletop. Inhale, left arm up. Keep it up for just a second. Shoulders away from ears. Find length through the crown of your head, through your spine. Exhale, bring your left hand under the right side of the body. Shift your shoulder, your temple to the floor. Maybe your hips shift a little to the left side. Walk your right hand forward. If you can, release that armpit a little closer towards the mat. Turn your face towards the mat. Breathe into the back ribs. Take 1 more big breath. On your inhale, walk your right hand back in. Plant it down on the floor. Next inhale, stretch all the way up towards the ceiling. And then release your hands down to the floor. Feel free to enjoy a little cat-cow. I'm going to tell you about what our next quick little round is going to be. So we're going to start off closer to the top of our mat. We're going to come into bear. So tucking your toes under, lifting your knees off the floor. You're going to step back into a plank and then step back into bear, keeping knees close to the mat. If you need to, release them down for just a moment and then come back into bear, plank, bear. Take a break if you need to. The following move is going to be bear, shoulder tap with the down dog. So sticking with this bear a lot, and if you need to, we're going to modify this one up as well. So pressing up into bear, so knees are bent, and exhale, sending your hips towards the ceiling behind you into down dog. Inhale back into bear, and we're adding a shoulder tap right here. Then down dog, back to bear, shoulder tap. So just a little bit different. From there, we're going to turn over onto our bums. Legs come behind us, and we'll do a lemon squeeze. We got 3 different directions with the legs for this lemon squeeze. Knees come in, legs come straight, legs open wide. So knees, straight legs, open legs. Probably gonna have to turn a little because of this chair. We got 3 moves this time, so a little bit of a shorter set. Grab a quick sip of water if you want. And then let's come back into tabletop and make it happen. I'll grab a quick sip of coffee. Oh no, sorry, spoon's a little. That's why you drink water. Okay, all right, y'all. Oh, my necklace hit my teeth. All right, starting with our bear and then stepping back carefully into plank. So we got some balance work coming up in 3, 2, 1, begin. All right, out into plank, into bear. Out to plank, into bear. I want you to think about how far your knees are off of the mat. Go for about 2 inches. Also, can you alternate which leg is stepping forward at a time? You got about 5 seconds left. If you need to modify, you're just in plank. I'm sorry, you're in tabletop and you're just stepping out into plank. All right, now we're back up into bear, shoulder taps, and then send your hips up towards the ceiling for down dog. You might even walk your feet out a little bit wider. Maybe your bear is a little wider this time. Think about it as like a child's pose, press back even. Maybe into your push-up. I don't know, just giving you some options. Just find something that works for your body today. Cool, now we've got that lemon squeeze, so turn over, legs come in front of you, hands come behind, knees into chest, straight legs to the ceiling, open legs wide. Knees, straight legs, open wide. Knees, straight legs, open wide. Oh my gosh. Knees, straight legs, open wide. Last time through, come on. 30-second break is coming up. You made it. You made it to your break. Oh, that was kind of hard, y'all. We got 2 more times through. Then we're done with all of the hard work for today to challenge that center core. Gonna give myself some good old tabletop twists right here to feel all my feelings. All right, bear to plank in 3, 2, begin. Tuck toes under, knees up, step out. Keep those hips low for round 1. You're halfway through. Sorry, they are doing some construction upstairs. I bet you can hear it. Now we're gonna add in those shoulder taps. And then hips up towards the ceiling, press your belly towards your thighs. So feel free to hang out for an extra second, enjoying that press up towards the ceiling and down dog. You can keep that bend to your knees and then carefully release them back down to the floor. Getting a stretch through your calves. 3 seconds left. Then we're gonna expeditiously come on down. Twist over, hands behind us. Here we go. Knees in, straight legs, wide legs. Knees in, straight legs, wide legs. Maybe you do 1 leg at a time if you need to. Oh my gosh. I'll do the other leg 1 time through, just to be even Stevened. This move is hard. Yay, take your break. Take your break. The good news is we have 1 more time through, and then we're done. Then we get to just finish with some nice stretches, and then go back to our work day. That part sounds less fun, I'm not gonna lie. Or you can join me in Zumba. Join us on the link for the 12 o'clock Zumba class. Ready for your bear plank? 3, 2, 1. Really keep that lower belly drawn in. Keep that weight forward. Also, press those hands palms to the floor. 10 seconds left of this move. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that shoulder tap into play. And then send those hips up. Belly to thighs. Carefully release back down. Shoulder taps. And then hips up. If you need to release your knees all the way down towards the floor and do your shoulder tap from tabletop, and then just practice pressing up into down dog. Please just keep moving. 3, 2, 1. Turn over. Let's get right into it. Draw those knees in towards your chest. You're going to do 2 of everything this time. Oh my gosh. I know it's only 30 seconds of work. Oh my gosh. I'm real, y'all. I'm real. It's hard. Oh my gosh, we made it. Yay. Let's go ahead and lower ourselves all the way down onto our backs. Oh, draw those knees towards your chest, but only so far as you can while keeping that lower back glued down towards the mat. So no sacrum or glutes lifting. Separate those legs. Start to get a stretch into the outer glute and thighs. Open one leg out towards the side in a clamshell. Bring it back in. Other leg in a clamshell. Make sure that lower back is still pressed down to the mat. You still have those abs drawn in. All right, keeping those knees bent, extend your arms out to the side. Let's take a gentle twist, whichever side you would prefer to start with. See if you can keep both shoulders on the floor to get a little extra twist. Turn your chin in the opposite direction of your knees. If you're having trouble stacking your hips here, consider extending that lower leg to create a nice little something for your top foot to relax on. You can even use your hand to apply a little bit of pressure to increase the twist. Go ahead, inhale back through center, extend those arms. Exhale, drop over to the opposite side. Find what feels right for your body today, working to keep both shoulders on the floor. If you want that extra stretch in your neck, exhale, turn, look over your opposite shoulder. Just a couple more breaths here. All right, go ahead, bring your hands, palms together. So just come into a fetal position, maybe take a couple breaths there, and then press yourself back up into tabletop. Just want to get a nice little stretch into that side of the body. So with your left knee down on the floor, extend your right leg behind you. Inhale that heel up and cross it over the left side of the body. Make sure you're not sinking into those shoulders. Draw your belly in and look over your left shoulder for your right heel. Take 2 more breaths right here. Then go ahead and inhale back to center. Lift that leg up, bring it back into tabletop, extend your left leg out. Press into your hands, palms, don't sink into your shoulders. Inhale, left leg up, exhale, cross it over the right side of the body. Use your inhale to look over your right shoulder. See if you can see your left heel. It's okay if you can't. You're just looking in that direction. Beautiful. On your next inhale, turn your head back to center, lift that leg up. Exhale, bring your knees back down towards the floor. Tuck your toes under, send your hips up towards the ceiling. Walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. Take a generous bend of your knees. Take a moment, shake your head. Yes, stretch out that neck. No.
Maybe bend one knee and then the other, extra little stretch through the legs, through the lower back. Then weight comes back to heels. Slowly, gently roll yourself up. Shoulders last to stack over your hips. Inhale your arms up overhead. Look up, lift up, and exhale. Relax your arms down by your side. Great work today, everybody. Those are our 30 minutes. They go by so quickly. I hope that you enjoyed them. I hope you felt a good challenge to your abs. Let me know how you're feeling, especially how you're feeling later. Remember, the more that you stretch and move throughout the day, the better that you're likely to feel tomorrow. So I hope to see some of you in Zumba if possible. And if not, have a wonderful rest of your day.